As soon as Din shut the door behind, everyone turned to Hoseok, their gaze curious and suspicious. Hoseok gulped but didn't say anything. He sat on the bed cross-legged beside Taehyung and Yoonmin and began stroking their heads. Suddenly the door burst open and Bogum, Woshik, Rhea, Lily and Kay entered with worried faces. As soon as Hoseok saw them, he bursted into tears. Rhea hugged him while Bogum, Woshik, Kay and Lily looked worried about them. Looking at them, Hoseok's last straw of control to stay strong has broken now. Hyung, look at them, they're not waking up, Hoseok said like a baby, choking and sobbing while crying hardly. Rhea tapped his back trying to soothe him, but he was nowhere to stop. His breath quickened. Hyung, they tried to shoot. He sent them. He sobbed again. Voice and words stuttered hard to understand. Hobby, baby, look, they're just sleeping. They will wake up in some time. Also, he'll not be able to do anything this time, Bogum said trying to comfort him. But he shook his head. He got strong. He have gone so many men. He'll harm my brothers. Hoseok thrashed in Rhea's hold, trying to reach them. It was almost like he is losing his senses. Everyone were worried for him now. Jungkook and his friends never saw Hoseok in this state. He was always a happy pill, and seeing him crying so much made everyone's heart clench. Hobby, please baby. It's okay. Hyungi is here now. Hyungi will take care. Calm down, baby, or you will have a panic attack like this. Woshik stepped towards him, taking him in his embrace. They saw how Hoseok's face turning red, due to lack of breath. No, 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 baby. Breath, baby. Breath with Hyung. Woshik panicked. When Hoseok's breath got heavy and Tae started to have difficulty in breathing. Rhea started to rub his hands, while Lily tried to guide him to breathe, but nothing worked. Everyone got panicked when Hoseok's condition only worsened. He started to shake. Where is Jin? Bogum shouted in tension. In the lab. He is testing the drug. Hyung. He called me. Let me bring him, Kay said and was about to run to the door, but suddenly the door bursted open by Jeon, with some small box in his hand. Hyung, what happened? Jin asked as they all gathered there. But when he saw Hoseok his eyes widened. Where is the inhaler? Jin yelled, looking at them. All began to search here and there. We forgot to bring, Rhea said, panic still rising. Jin immediately rushed towards them and slightly opened Hoseok's shirt buttons. Hyung, move aside and open the windows. Let the air flow, he instructed, and they did the same. Jin took out an injection and looked at Hoseok, who was almost in unconscious situation. He injected Hoseok with the medicine, and Hoseok slowly started to close his eyes and went into a deep sleep. Jin and others just sighed. He's going to wake up after a few hours. Let them sleep, Hyung. There is no need to give any medicine to the two. It's GMP, it will eventually go off from blood after 8 hours, Din said, looking at Taehyung and Jimin, who were sleeping peacefully. Bogum and Rhea hugged Jin from both sides and sat beside him, offering him a silent support. Din also closed his eyes and melted in their embrace. After some time he opens his eyes, and now they are cold and void. All this was observed by Namjin and Jungkook. They were all so eager to know what is happening here. Jen looked at them with the same void eyes, and that's when it hit him. Who are they? Why did they attack you, Giz? Yoongi asked, his voice a bit cold, and he knows a bit, but not completely. Jin gulped and looked at him, and then at Jungkook, and then at everyone. Tae sighed heavily. He again looked at his hounds and newness. They were also having the same expression. Jin adjusted the blanket on the 3 people who were sleeping soundly and signaled them to come outside. As they came out of the room, Jin shut the door close behind him, and they all came to hall. Everyone settled down, and that's when they got to see some new people. They were standing in the hall in their casual wear and holding snacks. Those people also stood froze seeing many people there. Yo, how many times should I tell you not to eat those dumplings and cookies? They are made by Hobby. If he came to know you ate those, he'll burn you alive. Jin screamed at the people looking at the snacks. He was terrified about what he'll tell Hoseok. The three people also stood froze and their eyes showed fear. Not to mention, those dumplings you were holding are for Tag and Chimmy. May God bless your soul, Balgam said with a straight face. He knows the chores that awaits them when the three sleeping people will wake up. What? No. Oh no. The three people started panicking and ranting something in languages humans don't understand. They began shoving the packets in each other's hands, saying the other was the one who ate more from the packets. Everyone watches the drama unfolded in front of their eyes. Those little psychos will not leave us alive now. What should we do? A man with red hair fake cried dramatically. The other two were not any less of a drama. What's going on? Jungkook interrupted them, having enough of all these. He wanted to know what's actually happening here. Yoongi and others also turned serious by now. Who are these people? Please all of you settle down first, Jin said, looking at them. Everyone settled themselves on sofas. Now everyone was looking at Jin. That's when the red-head man broke the silence. Hello, I am Jade. I am Bottomhound's fiance, he said, smiling at Jungkook, Namjin, Yoongi and Suga. Meanwhile the four were trying to process this information, but they just nodded their heads. I am Noam. I am Wooshik's fiance. Nice to meet you, the cute man with dimples said while smiling. I am Jay. I am Ria's husband, he said, and almost the four persons' eyes popped out. As far as they know, Ria was single. Then from where this sudden husband came from? Did he fell from sky or something? Husband, Jungkook said, raising an eyebrow. Now this was an interesting information from them. Why don't we start from the beginning? We actually wanted to tell you all about these things earlier but didn't get time, In said in a calm voice. That my kitten's marriage is fixed with Minho, and Taehyung's marriage is fixed with that Alex. Yoongi raised a brow. Everyone else except the four were shocked. How did you? Jin trailed off. My kitten said this to me, Jin Hyun, that day when we went to a date, after your parents announced the news. He cried a lot that day. Yoongi said, his eyes darkened with every word he said. Shim said that already. But Minho is not that much of a problem, Yoongi. But what I don't understand is, why were you fighting with that guy today? Jin asked, a bit worried. Alex, that deserves it, Jungkook said, clenching his jaws and fists. What do you mean by that? You know him? Balgam asked, being shocked. Not only him, everyone else were also shocked. We have enmity with him since a long time now, Jungkook said in a cold tone and a straight face. And this guy is the one going to marry Taehyung. Am I right? Namjin asked, looking at Jin, who nodded his head with a heavy sigh. Not really. That's just for a show. No, interrupted. We would like to know what has happened, We too know some things about your families, and a promise that needs to be fulfilled in between the families, Jungkook said in the sharp tone, recollecting the past events of his life. What promise, Jungkook? Jin asked. I'll tell that when you'll tell us about your side of the story, Jungkook said with a dead serious look. Dane nodded and decided to continue his story. So our parents were friends from college days. They inherited business from their families. But there was one common friend of them, Jeon uncle. He built everything on his own. Everything was going right on track, or we thought like that. That time Aunt Jeon, Tag's mom and Mrs. Park were pregnant. Jeon uncle started to thrive in business that he reached higher positions than our parents. The jealousy that started just with some mere profits and business positions led a long way to loss. They tried to sabotage the business of Jeon uncle, but failed. But Tae's parents had another plan. In the name of strengthening the relationship, they proposed to fix marriage between two families with the unborn kids. I was 1 year that time. Bogum Hyung, Wooshik Hyung, Lily Nuno and Rhea Nuno were all 8 or 9 years. That's why they remember. But Uncle June said he doesn't want to tie up his children for business. What if their children had different fate? But that only increased the differences between them. But their namesake friendship still continued. It was the day of Tae's birth. Kim uncle was out for a business trip leaving his pregnant wife at home. That time none helped, only June auntie came. She took Aunt Kim to hospital and waited along with Jeon uncle. That day we all saw that bunny baby, little June. Jin smiled while saying about Jungkook. Then Bogum continued. Both babies were laid in the crib. We were all there. We were left to take care of babies. Din was only 1 year then, but the little bunny held Tae's fingers and didn't leave. He cried a lot when anyone tried separating them. Taking that a chance, Kim uncle tried again for their kid's marriage, and seeing Tae's cute face, Uncle John agreed too. But my parents, Kim's parents and Hoseok's parents were not at all happy with that. Only Taehyung's parents were happy. That is where it all started. Our parents took a huge loan from mafias for business. June uncle was ready to invest, but due to their ego they didn't take from him. But eventually they faced loss. That time it became a huge scandal. We don't know how our parents became scammers. That time few people attacked our houses saying very bad things. Only children were at home. To protect them Wushikang called Uncle John, and he protected us that time. He himself got injured that time. When he came to know about the scams and loan, he tried to explain them that is wrong, but they didn't listen. That's the day their friendship broke. Avirian thought only friendship broke, but no, there was something else too. That night someone attacked June uncle, and the mafias asked June uncle to clear the loan as his friends flew away. But they don't know what we did. We saw everything, every fight. We took the money from lockers of our parents and some expensive things, and at night we hid inside Jeon uncle's car. That was the day of attack. We stopped them and gave everything we collected, and said if that's not enough amount, our parents have more in lockers. When the mafias heard that, they directly came to our house, and took their loan and went away. Uncle John dropped us near our home and gave his contact number to call him whenever something bad happens to us. Our parents got to know about the things we did, and tortured us to death. They didn't even see we're just 8 to 9 years kids. Wu Shipang and I tried saving Lily and Ria as they were only 7. That time I was 8 and Hyung was 9. It was Hyung's idea to return back the money. They tied up Hyung and beat him every day. Didn't give food, water, locked up in a dark basement. We all 4 saw heal for 2 weeks. We used listen cries of Taehyung, Chin, Din and Hobie. No one took care of them. Even Jin was only 1 year. A maid took care of them for 2 weeks, only basic needs. Babies cried to sleep and we were locked up. The day we came out was miserable. Only one maid was looking after babies. From that day their actions became reckless. We acted as if we didn't see anything and started to listen to them. We grew up, studied together. Then we came to know about Alex accidentally. Alex is a psychopath. He saw Taehyung when he was 14. From that time he was following Tae. One day he came to our house and made a deal with our parents that he'll help them in their illegal business and in return they need to marry Tae to him. He was a goddamn 25-year-old man. He said them to meet his brother for money. That day was another worse day. He said to sell Chim as a slave to them and marry Tae to Alex. Bogum said, tears of rage falling from his eyes. Even everyone teared up with that, and you know what the worst part is? They really agreed. They agreed to sell their own children. After that me, Hyung and Eunice planned an escape. That time we met with Jae Hyung, undercover officer from New York. He was here to arrest Alex's brother Peter. He was the most wanted there. He helped us with getting rid of Peter, but we couldn't get any clues about Alex. Now for years our parents are taking his money. The amount is so huge that they can't repay. Now he also took over his brother's illegal business and became strong. And now on top of that we have another trouble named Yoongi. Don't know what this wants now. He continued. Yoongi, you don't need to worry about Minho. We'll take care of him. Yoonmin will not be harmed. Kay said as he tried to calm him down, seeing his red face burning enraged, and the dark eyes scaring the shit out of people there. Do you know who that bunny baby is that you mentioned? Namjin asked, seeing Jungkook glaring at him coldly for calling him that. He's already embarrassed when Jin called him that. Who? How can I know that bunny now? We didn't meet or try to contact him after knowing there is mafia involvement in all these. Jin said with a slight pout that only Namjin noticed. He was amazed at how Jin controls his personality. He shows people that it's his real self when it's not. He's here. The only Jun you were talking about, Suga said, pointing at Jungkook, who was looking at them with cold eyes. Others widened their eyes in shock. Min's jaw dropped at what he called Jungkook. He was Jungkook, that he just met that baby bunny. You know them before, don't you? Jay asked with his undercover intelligence. Jungkook's cold eyes then showed something dark, dangerous, and something that they didn't understand. Well, I had to step in for my soon-to-be wifey. In fact, I came to that college just to be with him and spend some quality time with him. Jungkook said in a dark voice that showed a warning, a death note, and something like love, or more like obsession. We also got dragged with him here, Suga said in a cold tone. I didn't know that my engagement was already done with my wifey until I heard my parents talk about it, Jungkook said with a cold chuckle. Others got shocked except the four friends. What, engaged how? They shouted in shock. Wooshik didn't know that his baby brother is already engaged. Did you see a ring on his finger? Jungkook asked, raising his brow. That's when it hit Jin. Isn't that a gift? Our grandmother bought that for him, Wooshik said. Then what is your opinion on the matching rings on our hands? Jungkook asked, showing his hand, where a matching ring stood proudly. How can that be possible? Yin said in shock. Indeed, it was a couple matching ring. They didn't doubt it till now, but after seeing they knew better. The ring is custom-made ring, made by our grandparents. Tae's grandmother was so impressed by the proposal that she even arranged an engagement at church and made us change the rings by placing them in our chains. Of course your parents don't care to remove it, and you all thought it was given by your grandmother, Jungkook explained. There was a smirk on his lips, seeing their pale faces. Jones and Kim's were not friends because of our fathers. They were friends from generations. But Mr. Kim decided to ruin it. It was a tradition to marry at least one person of Kim into Jeon, or the other way around. But Dad didn't want to make any promises, because Mrs. Kim was having a boy. What if that didn't work out? Our grandparents were disappointed that time. But I am the only child of Jeon's, and Taehyung was second child. Upon our grandparents' insistence he agreed. Mom was whipped for Tae. Like that everyone agreed to marry. What they didn't know was our grandparents suspected Mr. Kim. When Tae's grandpa found out about the fraud and loans, they immediately shifted some property to Tae's name and Hyung's name that your parents didn't know existed. The property alone costs triple of your now company's. They gave the property details to Jeon's to make them secure. He added, Mr. Kim got to know that your grandparents are trying to name the company to your names. So they killed them before they could do anything. Thankfully they didn't know about the properties. Dad got to know that they were murdered. But there were no proofs. But Namjin's parents helped in that case. Then we came to know that Peter is the one who helped your parents that time. When Dad helped you people the last time, there was a huge fight among elders. That day Mr. Kim broke the friendship and also the engagement. But there was a will of late Mrs. Kim that the engagement can only be broken when I and Taehyung attain the legal age and refuse to marry each other. We didn't tell them. Dad understood the situation and let them go that time, for your safety. Then hired a secret spies for keeping an eye on you all. Jungkook completed. Others didn't know how to read. What about Tae? You shouldn't force him to marry you, Jungkook. He thinks you as his good friend. He trusts you very much, Jin said in a broken voice. It's too much to digest for him. Friends. What kind of friends goes out every day without other friends? What kind of friends busy gifts for only two of them? Tell me, Hyung, what kind of friend feels jealous when I speak to my other classmates? He even doesn't let Sunjin and Subin talk to me in class. He was the one to exchange the seats with Yunjin to sit beside me. He comes to Gim room and sits there, even when he could come to any of you. What do you think it is? Do you think I am naive to not know his feelings towards me? Jungkook said in a plain tone, not sharp but cold. Others felt like a big stone of truth hit their heads. In all the worries about their parents and studies and business, they failed tough. Noticed Taehyung being constantly around Jungkook. Jin opened his mouth to say something but nothing came. He felt his throat dry to talk. I am not here to harm him. I love him from the day I saw his picture. That innocent eyes dragged me here. Dad asked me to save him from his parents when he got to know Alex was behind him. From the start we were enemies. I love Taehyung. I will cherish him forever, till my last breath, and that's my promise. Jungkook said with sincerity in his eyes. Wooshik saw the love, feeling, and admiration for his baby brother in those cold eyes. K knew Jungkook will take care of Taehyung very well. I am the one to arrange Namjin, Sobin, Bongyi, Taehyung, Rose and Jisoo for your all safety. They are also our friends before we join the college. We didn't know about your family situations, so we decided to keep you safe from them. We researched a lot and found some information about you all. Then we started our plan. In all that Yoonmin fell hardly for Jimin. He said he wanted to marry Jimin, and also told his parents about him. Jimin also met them. So you don't need to worry about them, Jungkook assured, his voice and eyes showing the clarity and sincerity of his actions not being bad, but for good only. What Din said merely above a whisper. He was shocked to the core. Even others were the same. They weren't able to form a word. Don't take it wrong, Din. We just wanted to make sure you all are safe and no one would use you people against us or harm you all in the process, Namjin said while looking serious as ever. Bogum Wooshik, K and J just sighed. What's happening here?